Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Zoe, but most people know me as ZAREPTILES, and today we're finally going to do an enclosure review for this enclosure behind me from Reptihomes. This is Zero's new enclosure, so the video following this one will be me putting it together and decorating it and putting Zero inside, and I love how it came out, so stay tuned for that. So if you follow me on Instagram, a lot of you probably remember that I started this project back in December. This was supposed to be done by Christmas and it was not. So it is finally done. I am so excited, and this is why I haven't been putting out content much lately. All my free time has gone to working on 4 new enclosure builds, which are finally done. So this one's going to be the first one. So I did pay for this enclosure. I did get a slight discount in exchange for, you know, this video and then the video of me putting it together for Zero, but other than that slight discount, I did pay for it. So this is going to be my complete, honest opinion and review of this enclosure. Okay, so this came about because some of you may remember, if you've been around a while, 2 Christmases ago now, I got 3 new PVC enclosures from a small business, and it was an absolute nightmare. And as much as I like how I decorated those enclosures, the enclosures themselves are, well, they're awful, to put short and simply. So I am a wooden enclosure girl through and through. Have a melamine, don't like it. Those PVCs, don't like them. So Reptihomes contacted me and said, I bet we can make a believer out of you. So that's how this whole thing started. So have this one to test out, try, see what I think. So now that it's been set up and I've actually gotten to use it, I can finally give you my honest review. So it is a 4x2x18, and the reason I went ahead and ordered it was because my other snakes, my smaller snakes, mid-sized snakes, are in those PVCs I got. Calypso and Phoenix, they're in PVCs. So they already don't match the ones that I custom built, so might as well get another white PVC to at least match those. So I'm going to cover my pros and cons of this Reptihomes enclosure for you guys. And again, this is my complete, honest review of the enclosure. So starting with the pros, because of course, let's start with the pros. It's a white PVC enclosure. Okay, those are hard to come by. Most companies do black only, and there's a lot of us that like the aesthetic looks of white enclosures. And so, boom, one of the few places that does sell white PVC enclosure, so already a plus right there. And I'll give them credit. I'll give them credit. PVC is very lightweight. So for someone like me, who's not super muscular, having something lightweight is awesome. Now I will say, I was told when we were talking about the enclosure that they are stackable. My other PVCs bow and flex with the weight of the other enclosures, and I was told those would be stackable, and they really aren't. So I cannot say whether or not this enclosure would be. This one is already more sturdy than my other PVCs, so again, a pro. It's pretty sturdy PVC. I just can't say whether or not it'd be a stackable PVC because I only have the one. But PVC is lightweight, so a lot of people like PVC for that reason. So with that being said, I was able to move it around and whatnot by myself, which is a huge plus. Okay, next pro, so easy to put together. I came home on my lunch break one day and did it, and it was so easy. It took a little bit longer than it should have because I put a piece on backwards, so it was my fault, not his fault, my fault. So it did take longer than it should have. But if I had followed the instructions better, it would have gone quicker. So I essentially did it on a lunch break one day from work. So it comes with all of the hardware, and I also really like that it comes with handles for the glass. So once we get to the part where we put on the glass, that you stick on the handles, and then you have something to hold on to open and close the door, so you're not leaving fingerprints all over the glass. So that was awesome. Okay, the glass was well packaged. Very important. Glass is, you know, fragile. And if you guys remember from that really horrible experience I had with PVC enclosures. The glass that came with those were all scratched up. It was not good. This glass, very well packaged, fantastic shape. Okay, another plus is that the way it is cut for your cords for lighting is really good. It'll fit any cord. Here's the catch though. You have to put your cords through before you secure the top on. Because if you have like a switch attached or a plug attached, you cannot just feed it through the hole. If it's the wire, but it's not going to fit a plug. But it's like a little swoop, so you can lay the wire in and then put the lid on and secure it down. So that worked really well for me. But I will say the hole does fit a Arcadia UVB cord, because I didn't have that installed prior to putting it all together. That does fit through the hole. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the cons, and then I'll wrap up with my final thoughts so we end on a high note. So cons, I can't say whether or not I am a PVC believer or not now. I still have a lot of issues with PVC. So there are several nicks in the PVC that I found right out of the box. I don't know if this was a issue during the building process or during the shipping process, but that was another common thing that I saw with the other enclosures I got that were PVC from a different company. So I don't know if PVC is just very soft. Well, I know it's kind of soft and like, I don't say fragile, but gets nicks and stuff easily, gets scraped up easily. So that was an issue for me initially. I don't notice them now that it's all put together, which is good. So now it doesn't bother me. There is a pretty big gouge right there, actually. You can kind of see it. But it's not something that I really notice anymore. So I was a little concerned about it when I was building. Now that it's put together, most of them you don't even see. And it doesn't affect the enclosure any. But it is kind of disappointing to pay money and then have nicks and stuff in the PVC just because that's the material. It's soft and whatnot and gets banged up. Okay, and the next con doesn't really have to do with the enclosure. It's more of like the packaging, and it's just something that unfortunately happened. Some of the screws unfortunately got loose in the box and were pressed into the PVC. So there are kind of screw indents in some areas of the PVC. Again, this is just the material being the material. So as much as PVC has a lot of pros, PVC itself as a material also has some cons. So doesn't have to do with the company, has to do with the material. Okay, next con is PVC attracts animal hair and dust and whatnot. I have 2 cats and a dog in this household, and while this was downstairs being worked on, it picked up a lot of hair, and it was just annoying. So again, this is more, the cons are more so towards the material as opposed to the company, but the goal was to turn me into a PVC believer. And well, there's still things I don't like about PVC. The last con I have, and this one actually does have to do with the company, not just PVC, so let's get back to the company review. Turnaround time is 7 to 9 weeks. Now, this isn't a con, but it is. So for me, I'm super impatient, so 7 to 9 weeks for me is a long time, and my enclosure did take pretty much the full amount of time. Now, this isn't a con because it's advertised, okay? My enclosure was shipped out within the advertised amount of time. It's just a con because I'm impatient. But a lot of businesses are advertising months out. So in hindsight, 7 to 9 weeks isn't that bad. Again, I'm just impatient. But it was shipped within the advertised time frame, so throwing that into the pros, it was shipped within the advertised time frame. Okay, so now I said that at the end we would wrap up. I would give you my final thoughts. Try not to pay too much attention to what's going on in there. That is the next video. But to give you my final thoughts. I am so glad I waited to film this video until it was fully set up, because my thoughts have completely changed. Before I had this set up, I was kind of like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not a PVC believer. I would probably stick to my wooden enclosures after this, but it's okay. Now that I have it set up and I can see what it looks like finished and I've been able to use it, I'm not gonna say I'm a believer, but I do love it. I mean, just look at it without looking at the inside. Just look at it, it's beautiful. Okay, the glass moves in the tracks so smoothly. It is amazing, because my other PVC ones, they stick, I think they're too big, they're cut wrong, they're nicked, and then there's the weight of the other enclosures pushing it down, although Phoenix is on top of this deck over here, and I have to put all my body weight into opening and closing her doors. This one, smooth like butter. I literally yesterday was getting ready for work and I was over at my closet and just happened to look across the room at it, and oh my god, I could have just like sat and stared. It is beautiful. Like, it just looks so nice. I was honestly worried initially about the front pieces because this comes down pretty far and this comes up pretty high, so it looks like a very small window of viewing and access, but now that it's done, I actually really like it, because this makes it so I can't really see the lights, and this makes it so I can have a deep enough substrate. So it's actually a very good design, which I wouldn't have even known if I filmed this before setting it all up. Now that it's all set up, I love the design of it. I really, really like it. Besides obviously the one nick right there. Other than that, I love it. So would I order again? Maybe. Would I suggest you order? If you're in the market for a PVC enclosure, go ahead. Sure, absolutely. So, the true ultimate question of the day. Am I a PVC believer now? A little bit more than I was before. I'm still a wooden enclosure girl through and through. But this did redeem PVC quite a bit for me. So in general, I would still probably use wood, but if I had a higher humidity type of species, I would get PVC. Have you used Reptihomes before? Let me know in the comments. And let me know, well, I was gonna say let me know what you think of the enclosure, but like, you're not gonna see it until the next video, so you can't let me know what you think of Zero setup because you technically haven't seen it yet. But I do want to give a thank you to Reptihomes for giving me a little bit of a discount so that I could buy this enclosure and give you guys a review, give Zero his upgrade, the whole 9 yards, redeem PVC in my mind a little bit. So I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater anymore. Okay, he did that for me. I'm not a hater anymore. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you for the next video. Bye!